Hi, I'm Yuda, co-director, Chabad at Columbia University.
Hi, I'm Naomi, the co-director with Yuda at Chabad.
Hi, I'm Erin. I'm a student at Columbia.
I'm Ben. I'm a student at Columbia. I'm a senior. I'm graduating in a week.
Mazel tov.
So when October 7th happened, it felt like we had no time to mourn the loss of our people and everything that happened in Israel. And it was already so devastating. And then, the next day we came to campus and they were protesting and saying some pretty foul things about, victims that were killed on October 7th. And it quickly exploded into a lot of students being openly anti-Semitic rather than keeping their biases to themselves. It feels like that was kind of our turning point as Jews, and it's kind of been following us since then, and we've kind of had to readjust our life to fit this new, movement or new wave of anti-Semitism.
Until now, if students avoided certain departments or professors or student groups, the overall experience at Columbia was a positive one. But after October 7th, this hate toward Jewish people, toward Israeli people, spread all over campus. And it was so blatant and there was no running away from it.
Yeah, I think the most surprising thing for me was, friends of mine that didn't want to have conversations with me. Not all of them. I mean, I have a Palestinian friend that I've had a conversation with that's been amazing. We both want the same thing for the region, for each other's people.
Have you had any friends kind of drop the friendship? Because I know other people have told me friends who right after October 7th didn't want to support anyway when they heard that they were pro-Israel. Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I also think anti-Semitism was pretty bad before October 7th. And I had experienced it a year before October 7th. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it's new. I think that people have been enabled to kind of say whatever they want.
Our goal at Chabad has always been to share the light and the joy of Torah and Judaism through Shabbat experiences, holiday experiences, learning opportunities. But I think after October 7th, we really put an emphasis on supporting everyone, just by being present as much as we can on campus, speak to students, to speak to their parents. Many parents have reached out throughout this time. And also thinking of ways to bring joy and hope to everything here.
Our focus always was, and now is even stronger, on just the Jewish minds and hearts and souls at Columbia University and how we can best be there for them. And one thing that we feel, one area that we really want to target is there's a feeling that space is kind of confined and getting smaller. Students that walk through campus and want to kind of take their kippah off or sneak through and not stroll through. And understandably, who wants to walk down Broadway when there's shouts for Intifada for weeks straight? Columbia, I think, has the largest population of Israeli students. Right? The most Israeli students on any campus at any university in the US is at Columbia University. How do we respond to someone who's lost friends and family? And we all essentially lost friends and family. What do you do? We didn't know what to do. We just got to be there. So we put up a table on campus. And I remember the first day, Naomi and I were just standing there hugging and crying. We were just hugging people. And people were crying on our shoulders. They had to go to class on a regular day and hear all sorts of terrible statements in class about how this was deserved or horrible stuff. And we wanted to make sure that this was happening on Columbia's campus. It's okay. In spite of all that, we're going to be okay. A little bit of light can dispel a lot of darkness. And we want to figure out how to have the Jewish soul's brightest shine as bright as possible. That's our biggest focus. How do Jewish students shine that candle, shine that light as strong as possible? And that's how we deal with the darkness, with the hate.
There's been people from all walks of life that have really turned into their Judaism, people who didn't know a single thing or people that want to learn about Judaism who aren't even Jewish. And you guys can kind of speak to how much it's exploded. It's gotten massive.
Yeah, it's interesting because after October 7th, we got asked so many times oh, are students scared to come to a Jewish place? Are you seeing a drop in attendance into your events. And it's been quite the opposite. Our Shabbats literally exploded. We had 250 people packed on 3 floors in the Chabad house.
4 floors.
Yeah, sometimes 4. So yeah, it's really inspiring for us. We feel so lucky to witness students like you and hundreds of students here who are showing up more now than ever, wanting to meet other Jewish students, wanting to meet together, wanting to learn more about Judaism.
There's a statement in the Torah where the older generation said, we can't go into Israel because how will the younger generation, how will they put up with it? And the Torah, the response was, "V'tapchem asher amartem lavazihu," the younger children who you said will be lost, they are the ones that are going to go inherit the land. And to anyone that's worried about the young Jewish generation, they are strong. They're really strong, and they're going to do all right. There's another idea that Nomi and I shared, read this from the Rebbe, that diamonds are forged under pressure. Crazy intense pressure will create diamonds. And that's what's happening here. The results by the Jewish students have been unbelievable.
I want to add on to that also. A lot of the media and people are focusing on the negativity of everything going on and the entitlement or delusion of some people in the younger generation, the young adults of today. But we feel so lucky, and we want to shed light on the strength and resilience of students like you who are so proud and strong literally in the face of hate. You show up, you're on campus, you're not, hiding your Jewish identity.
Some people were sacrificing one or the other. Some people said, I'm going to be very focused on, let's say, Jewish events or pride and not focus on school. And some people said, I'm just going to ignore that whole part and just focus on schoolwork and put my head down. But the majority were strong, proud, passionate Jews who focused on school and didn't sacrifice one for the other. And that's really amazing.
I think one of the most important things for a Jewish student to recognize is that you are Jewish. There's no avoiding that. And so you have 2 options. You can either try and hide who you are, or you can be proud of who you are. And I think that my response has been to be proud of who I am, because I like myself. And I want to be happy. And I think that if you hide who you are, you have a difficult time moving forward. And so I think just being proud, recognizing who you are, it doesn't mean that you have to like everything that you do or like everybody's reaction to you, but you have to be okay with knowing who you are. And I think that's the number one most important thing for me.
Yeah, I heard a student at a different university talking about this. But kind of don't let your Judaism be conditional on what other people think of you or how to live your life. Because when you do come to a university like this, you're going to face anti-Semitism. That's just where we're at. You shouldn't shrink yourself to fit the mold of people who, don't believe in your right to exist or equal rights for you and your people. Let their opinion determine your relationship with Hashem and your religiosity, as well as how you live your day-to-day life.
I think since October 7th, I've found a real need to incorporate. So my background is in mechanical engineering. That's my undergraduate. And so I found a real need to try and make art, whether it's cutting boards to put challah on, or prayer sheets, or Kiddush cups. I found a real need to design and incorporate Judaism into my profession. And I have designs and I have things that I want to make. And that's been a real great way to escape the situation and find real meaning in what I'm doing.
It seems as though since October 7th, it's the people that like us and support us, it's very conditional on their beliefs. And something that I've turned into is that Hashem will love us and it's not conditional. Our relationships with other people are conditional, or how they look at us is conditional on politics or whatever it may be. Hashem doesn't look at us in that way. And that's what we can turn to when we feel like everything else is so conditional.
Seeing a lot of people showing such hate in the name of social justice is reminding me to have moral clarity by looking into what we always looked into as Jewish people, which is the Torah. And for me, it kind of solidified, this is what we have. And a lot of modern day ideas could be kind of twisted, as we're seeing, and just sticking with that.
So something I have learned strongly is that there's an urgency now in my life to do things, to get something done. Then also to give an opportunity for students to do something. And what do I mean by that? We can sit and have theoretical discussions about the importance of Jewish education, or we can have theoretical discussions about the future of Israel or the Jewish people, or we can look for ways to give the opportunity for students to do a mitzvah, to just do a mitzvah. And that simple act of doing a mitzvah is the most faith-sustaining act one can do. Just putting on tefillin, seeing students, like there's an urgency. Words won't do justice. Ideas are too abstract for the moment. We need to do something and do something right now. And there's nothing like putting a mezuzah on the door at a time when it's not so simple, when it's, might be a little bit, there might be some hesitation. That acting Jewish, doing that one mitzvah is to me the most powerful, and not just to me, I can speak for anyone that I engaged with over the past few months, the most powerful, simple thing we can do. And it provides clarity, hope, confidence. It's going to be okay.